I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. I need a plan to help me with my plan. If you've said any of these words, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Jasmine, a National FFA Teacher Ambassador representing the state of Virginia. I'm an ag teacher and FFA advisor, like many of you. And my goal here is to help you boost your teacher confidence. So, let's talk about pacing guides. When it comes to teaching, especially if you're a first-year teacher, planning is everything. You have to have a plan to make a plan to make a plan. And if you don't do that, life can seem very overwhelming. So, for example, take me. When it was my first year as an agriculture teacher, I specifically teach horticulture, I did not make very good lesson plans. I did not have a pacing guide, and every day I was flying by the seat of my pants. But having a plan in place is really going to help you during your first year not to feel overwhelmed. So what is a pacing guide? Basically, a pacing guide is just a guide that you set up for yourself that lets you know the weeks in your semester or the weeks in your year, the days, and what content you plan to cover. That way you can kind of gauge, I want to spend a week on FFA. We'll do a week on SAEs, or maybe we'll do 2 weeks talking about greenhouse structures and model a greenhouse and all of those fun type of things. But just having that outline is a really good idea. Again, so let's just say you forgot to lesson plan for a day or something came up. You can quickly go to your pacing guide, like, okay, I want it to cover FFA this week. What can I bring in that's FFA related? It also lets you know how long you want it to spend on that specific topic. And if maybe you had to be out for a day or an assembly came up or a pep rally, you can kind of tweak your plan based on how many days you thought that you wanted to spend on that specific topic. And that's why they're so handy and important. It's also important to realize that if you make the pacing guide, you don't necessarily have to stick to it to a T. Like I said, things come up, things change, plans happen, and if maybe you decided that you didn't think that this needed to be 2 weeks long, you can tweak it based on what you think. It is a good outline. It is not law. You can change it for yourself. It's just good to have it there. And this is a tip that I actually got from one of my best friends who's also an agriculture teacher. She said, find a textbook that you like and base your pacing guide off of that. Now, that doesn't mean you teach from the textbook, but the textbook gives you a really good outline of the order of things that which should be. You're not going to get a textbook that's going to have things completely out of order in a way that doesn't make sense, because they're teaching you, they're building upon those things, right? So if you find a good textbook that you like, you can take the chapters or the bones and make your pacing guide reflect off of those bones. In the description box below, I have given you a couple of examples of 2 pacing guides that I have looked at. Again, I'm super overwhelmed when it comes to pacing guides, or I was super overwhelmed, and so you just have to find what works for you. There's one in there that I got from attending something called Germinate Conference, which if you have not checked out Germinate yet, you should really do that. It's a professional development program by agriculture teachers for agriculture teachers, and it's phenomenal. It's the green and growing education. They do such an amazing job. I'm actually thinking about making my top 5 resources for new teachers and agriculture teachers. So drop a like below if you guys would be willing to see that video. Anyway, let's get to it. I'm going to share with you 2 pacing guides that I have looked into using. One is kind of more extensive, so if you like color coding and all of that jazz, that one might be for you. I typically and personally find best that simplest is always better. So let's go ahead and check those 2 out, and you guys can let me know in the comments if that helped you. Okay guys, so now I want to share with you my takeaways that I am leaving in the description box below. You can feel free to have a copy of these for yourself and use it as your pacing guides, or you can just use this as inspiration to come up with your own. Like I said, there are tons and tons and tons of ways to come up with an effective pacing guide. There are tons of examples online. This is actually my personal pacing guide for this year. And it's my personal favorite because it just keeps it simple and easy to follow. I'm going to show you another one that's kind of more extensive, color-coded and all of those. But this is actually a pacing guide template that I got from my best friend. Her name is Jessica Banton, and she's also an agriculture teacher. So I took this inspiration from her and came up with a pacing guide for my classes, and it's really working well so far. So basically, you're just going to put the name of your class up here at the top and put how many weeks that course is going to be. Then I went over here and numbered my weeks all the way down and numbered, put in the dates for each week. Then I went in personally and I added any days that were a holiday or I knew that I wasn't going to be at school for that day. And so I actually color coded those boxes this light green color. So like this day I'm going to have a substitute, but I want their work to be still an FFA. This day is a holiday, no one's going to be at school. And then what I went in and did is I put special days throughout the year, and I color coded those purple. So for example, on this day, it's National Teach Ag Day, so I want to do something really fun with my class. So that's going to be its own little separate activity for that day. So I just need to make a note. I need to plan something that's not forestry during this day. And I did the same thing down here with like Children's Book Week. So whatever my lesson plan for this week is going to be, you can see I left it open. We're going to make it into a children's book. Veterans Day, all that jazz. And the next thing that I color-coded was I put any CDEs or field trips that pertain to my classes. So you can see here the State Fair Forestry Contest. We're going to go to a botanical garden this day and look at their kitchen garden because it will tie into our vegetable unit and our community garden that we're going to be working on. And then I just put in for the rest whatever I want it to do for those weeks. And I did the same for my spring semester. So spring semester is so far away, right? But this gives me the bones and I can tweak it as necessary. So this is my personal favorite. It keeps it simple. You can see the bones, see the outline, tweak it for your needs. The next pacing guide that I'm sharing with you, I did not come up with. It is so pretty. I love it so much. But my brain can't comprehend. I tried to make a pacing guide on this one and it just wasn't for me, but maybe this works for you. Again, I did not come up with this pacing guide myself. Cassidy Shelton out of North Carolina presented something on pacing guides at Germinate, and this was a takeaway that I got from her. So again, this is not for me, but maybe this will be helpful for you guys. I tried it. It didn't work for me so much, but maybe it works for your brain. So once we have our bones right here, then we can go into our lesson. And again, this is what I have been using personally. It is a template, again, that I got from Germinate. So guys, I'm telling y'all, if y'all are not attending Germinate, you are missing out. They have a winter and a summer special. But again, leave a like if that is a video that you would like to see about all of my favorite resources for ag educators. So this is just, it gives you the date, it gives you the lesson plan, your purpose, your objectives, the materials that you need, verification, and then I added my lesson here, the bell ringer, what we're going to do, all of that jazz. And so that's just my personal way of lesson planning.
So let me know if this was helpful for you. I really hope that it was, and you got so much out of it, and you can use these templates to help in your planning efforts.
If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below. If you liked the pacing guide templates that I provided for you and the lesson plan templates, go ahead and give this video a like. Make sure to hit the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on all my future videos. Happy planning, owls!